everybody, and welcome to our Smart Parents, Successful Students podcast. I'm your host, Helen Panos, and today I have a guest with me, Angie Weber. Welcome to the show, Angie.
Thank you for having me, Helen.
Well, I want to introduce Angie real quick. She's been on, I think, on our podcast before, haven't you, Angie?
Yep, sure have. I think a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, but things change, right? So we're bringing Angie back on so she could talk about some important things and parents. And the name of her company is the Parent Toolbox. She's a parent coach. She is, how long have you had the business now, Angie?
About 3.5 years.
3.5 years. Cool. She is at theparenttoolbox.info is the website. And you'll have all this information in the notes, by the way, folks. So let me give you a brief description. Angie's the owner of the Parent Toolbox, developer of CALM in all caps. That is CALM, yes. The CALM approach to parenting, creator of the CALM Family Planner, and host of the podcast Mom Essentials, and is on a mission to help break generational parenting cycles. Wow, do we know about that, right? She supports parents through building their own toolboxes with new strategies and approaches to bringing more communication, connection, and calm into the home. Angie believes as we change conversations, we can change generations. I love that. That's great. I love it. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Angie, and what got you through to this journey that you're on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, besides being a business owner, I am a mom. I have 10-year-old twins who will be 11 shortly. So I have that experience. Yet the reason I got into parent coaching is because I went on my own little healing journey back in about between 2020 and 2021. And I got into some programs that taught me more about mental health, our emotions, how they show up, how our brain can kind of play tricks on us and tell us these little lies. And while I was learning all of this, I thought, wow, like I should have already known this. Why is this not second nature to everyone? We should all know this information. And at the time, I had another business, which was a holistic business. And I started incorporating some of these therapeutic concepts and techniques into those teachings. And I was hearing from parents all of the time, why didn't I know this? Why are we not teaching our kids this? And I get it all of the time still from empty nesters saying, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known you 20 years ago. Now, of course, I knew that this was having an impact on other parents and families because I saw it happening in my own home too. And while I say that parents should, build up their toolboxes, really what we need to do is more upgrade our toolboxes. Mm-hmm. And so we get handed down these skills and these strategies for parenting from generation to generation. Well, the world's a lot different now, and we need to upgrade those strategies so that we can feel more connected and communicate better with our kids, with our partners, and just as a family in general. So that is when I really kind of started rebranding, started the Parent Toolbox, developed my CALM approach to parenting, which every letter stands for a different foundational piece that we tailor specifically to the family's needs and goals, because we know every family is unique and we also know every child is unique. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, out there trying to break generational cycles and just bring more communication, connection, and calm into homes.
Yeah, that's great. Love it. Love the rebranding and all of that. I was at a school today and this morning, and I was just talking about, this is how we're talking about executive functioning, how people, we were all taught to the same way, probably by our parents because they didn't know any differently. And now we know you can't necessarily speak to this child the way you might speak to this child, right? And you have twins, and I'm a twin, by the way.
Yes, I knew that. Yeah, I have to use definitely different tools for talking and communicating with my son than I do for my daughter, for sure. So, yeah, it's important to have a plethora of options in your toolboxes so you can feel confident as you navigate this crazy journey of parenthood, because it doesn't come with a manual or a handbook. However, there are a lot of great tools out there that professionals like myself can help parents feel a little bit better as they're guiding through everything.
Yeah, I agree. Toolbox is good. So we're going to talk about the conversation your family didn't know they needed. So the first question I have for you is, how can parents shift from managing daily chaos, whether that's school schedules, events, we know it's all there, to creating more calm and connection in their homes?
Yeah, well, it starts with communication, which might seem like a very basic answer, but it really is the foundation for so many things, especially as parents. Either one or both parents are juggling so much on their plate. They're working, plus, yeah, trying to figure out the school schedules. We have activities, we have family events, we have weekend plans, we have to go grocery shopping, we have to figure out where we're taking the kids to and from, and it can be a lot. And sometimes, even if both parents are trying to manage those stressors together, a lot of the times miscommunication happens where one thinks like, well, I told them about this, and then the other one's going, what are you talking about? You didn't tell me that. And we want everyone to be mind readers in our family. So instead, we can start having a conversation, not just with the parents, but with our whole entire family, so everyone can be on the same page, especially for the upcoming week. Kids thrive on schedules, and it's really important that they understand what's going on too. So instead of one or both parents feel like they're holding everything on their shoulders, they can better really understand, the dynamic and what they want their family life to look like. So many of us are so busy, we're running from one thing to the other. And what happens is we think that, this sporadic family time is enough, but really we need to be intentional. However, if we're letting our schedules really dictate what our life looks like, that intentional quality time isn't going to be there. And so when we're communicating, it brings a stronger bond. And we also need to remember that communication is just as much about listening as it is about talking. So we need to make sure everyone's voices are heard as well.
That's right. That's true. That's a great point. And why are family meetings, I love this about family meetings, so essential to building better communication and connection in homes? I know you're all
Yeah.
about family meetings.
I am so much about family meetings. In my CALM approach, the C stands for compassionate communication. So yes, we talk about a lot of strategies on how we can communicate with our kids. And we also talk a lot about how do we build that strong connection. And one of the pieces, the reason I created the CALM Family Planner is because I always had it a part of my workbook for my clients, but it was one of those light bulb moments, those really simple shifts that would make a really big impact. And so again, we get busy during summer, during school, during holidays. I mean, every season of life brings some kind of busyness. And unless we really are intentional about spending time figuring out what is going on, we're going to feel like we're constantly racing behind. And so when the thought of family meetings, it's funny because a couple weeks ago, we were talking with our neighbors, and we were talking about family meetings, and my husband said, when I grew up, my family meeting was pretty much me and my brother sitting down and getting reprimanded by my mom and my stepdad. That is not what these are supposed to be. These are supposed to be fluid and flexible and fun. And I know there's so many different apps out there. There's the cool calendars and the digital stuff. But I really want families to think about, when is the last time you shut all of that off and sat around the table or went to a park? Lots of families love doing these at parks, and really just sat down with good old pen and paper to write things down, to talk and to communicate. And so much can happen in just that 15 minutes. Again, it doesn't have to be long or drawn out, but the family meetings have a very specific structure to them that parents can follow with their families. So again, we're covering multiple subjects, but everyone's getting on the same page. And I've had multiple people who have already started them, and they say there's already a shift after just 24 hours. It's amazing how much more confident and calm I feel. And I feel like we finally have a plan versus just winging it every day.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. Better to have a plan. I was just talking about that in a Lunch and Learn series, is planning. This is being recorded when we have back to school, but everybody's not back to school, of course, in our country at the same time. Like here in Atlanta, Georgia, they're starting early August. I don't know in your area when they're starting. Are they starting now or in a couple weeks?
No, we start in a few weeks. We start the day after Labor Day.
Oh, wow.
Or the Tuesday after Labor Day, yeah.
So definitely. Everybody is like all over the place, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And we can
So
have really good intentions, right, with planning. I mean, again, thinking about summer or thinking about the holidays or the new school year, we can have these really good intentions of, hey, we're going to make this plan. We're going to be more structured. And then after the first like couple days, it's kind of like a diet, right? Like if you
yeah,
just plan on eating chicken and broccoli, it's not going to last. But
out
if we
the
can do
window.
these, yeah, exactly. If we can do these little baby steps in order to make different lifestyle choices, we're going to see more progress. Same thing with having family meetings. Instead of trying to figure out like, hey, here's our plan for the rest of the year and everyone remember it. Instead, doing those check-ins every week are going to help build up that consistency and that communication.
Yeah, that's why we'll talk about your planner in a minute. So that's important because yeah, you might have this intention and you're like me, oh, I'm gonna work on some receipts and getting these things organized and getting my office organized. Did that happen? Oops, it's already August. Like,
Yeah,
where did the summer just go?
exactly.
So how does having intentional time scheduled out for your family translate to success at school for your
Yeah,
kids?
well, again, I mean, kids really thrive on schedules. And the more that we can set that foundation at school, especially as they're, getting older, transitioning into different grades, there's different peer things happening, there's different friend groups, different challenges in school. And so if we can start building that solid foundation at home where our kids feel safe to come in and talk to us about their struggles and also their successes, it's going to translate better into school because they're going to feel more confident going into those situations. Especially, one of the communication tactics that I really love working with parents on is help versus herd. So when your kids come to you with a problem, a lot of us parents, because we want to see our kids thrive and be happy, we instantly go into fix it mode. And we're like, oh, I got this. Here's A, B, and C. Here's how you should fix the problem. And that can actually break down communication and connection with our kids because they might feel overwhelmed. They might be thinking, oh, well, mom just told me all the ways to solve it. Like, and she must think this is a really silly problem. And so now I feel kind of dumb telling her about it because she thinks it's so simple to fix. Instead, what we need to do is really approach it to, would you like me to listen or would you like me to help you solve this? And if they want you to listen, you just hold space so that they know, again, you're a safe place to come to. And they can talk to you about anything, again, good or bad, especially in school. And if they want you to help them solve the problem, it's not giving them the solution. It's working through with problem solving questions and skills. So again, they can take those tactics and those skills into their school years as well. So they have a better job of being resilient when they come up to a challenge in the classroom.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. And they're structured already in school anyway, pretty much. So
Yeah.
then they need to do it really at home. It's better that way.
Yeah.
So tell us about your planner. I know you have a new planner, the Calm Family Planner.
I do have the new Calm Family Planner. So it goes through a lot of what we've talked about. Now, in the beginning, we want to set that solid foundation. And Helen, I'm sure that you have core values for your business, right? That you base everything off of. And we can go on to pretty much any other company's website, and especially big ones, and they're going to have these core values, these mission statements that are really guiding everything that they do. However, it's very uncommon for us, our families, to have them. And again, maybe the parents are like, we want to be a respectful family. We want to be kind. We want to be adventurous. But it's those two talking. It's not necessarily including the whole family. So in the beginning of the planner, it's really important to go through setting core values, and it walks you through how to do that. We then go into setting family rules, as most people call them. But that's really looking at what are our boundaries and expectations in our home? Why are these important? What is the consequence? Because we all know choices have consequences, whether it's good or bad. And then also a plan of how are we going to remind each other about this? How are we going to communicate? It then goes through shared responsibility. So chores is another word for them. But if we're being honest, no one loves the word chores. I don't like when I have to do chores. So it's those shared responsibilities of figuring out who's going to be responsible for them. And then we also look at family goals, and whether that's a savings goal, a vacation goal, or it could just be that, hey, we want to have a parent-kid connect every week, every month, like a one-on-one. That's going to be our goal for the next 3 months, is to make sure we're consistently doing those. So once we have all of that foundation pieces set up, then what the planner does is walk you through 52 weeks of meetings. Now, it is not dated. because as a mom myself, I understand stuff can change and we need to be adaptable. So if you miss a week, it's okay. You can just start out where you left off, because I know I hate missing a week in my planner and then thinking, oh, I just sacrificed all these pages and there's nothing I can do with them. It'll walk you through my system where we have conversation questions every week, a different one. We look ahead to see what are the big things that are happening that are out of the normal. Again, this is important to get everyone on the same page and make sure that you're getting that quality family time in. Especially, during the school year when things are really busy. If we have something every single night and then we're trying to jam pack the weekend, your kids are going to be exhausted going back to school. So we can be really intentional about making sure our week feels balanced and not busy. Then we talk about finances, because financial literacy is super important to teach kids. Then we go into meal planning, where I know a lot of parents are the ones doing all of that, but this is a way to get the kids involved so you don't hear, I hate that dinner, or, oh, chicken again, which is what I used to hear all the time. And then we talk about those family tasks and those responsibilities, and we assign people in, whether it's the whole family or it's one person or a few different people in our family assigned to those tasks. And then there's a family challenge every week too. So again, we can build up that stronger connection. Plus there's the bonuses in the background, or in the back end, but it walks you through 52 weeks of these structured meetings so you can feel confident every time you sit down, and you can really create that better bond with your family.
That's awesome. You have one right there to show us. I know we're going to be using
do.
some video, so a video and audio for Smart Parents, Successful Students.
I do. And I love it because it's hardcovered, it's spiral bound. We all know that if we're going to keep something for a year, we're going to need to be able to make sure it lasts. There is quite a bit of white space in the planner as well, but that was very intentional because you should create this to be your own. So you can color, you can draw pictures, you can add stickers, whatever you feel like this needs to really make sure that it feels like your family's guiding compass. And personally, I love it when we have this sitting on the counter. It doesn't get put in a drawer. It's always out on the edge of our counter. And I love when I see my kids even go over and open it up and be like, oh, that's right, we have this tonight. Or, oh, what's for dinner tonight, Mom? Oh, yeah. So it's kind of like a little Bible for your family in a sense.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like a Bible.
Yeah.
It's kind of like my planner. It's my Bible. It's right here.
Yeah.
My planner.
And as adults, I was going to say, as adults, like I have a planner too. And like, that is whether it's your virtual one or a paper one, like that is like our guiding light of like, okay, what do I have going on this week, especially for work? And so why wouldn't we have something like that for our families to feel more confident and stay on track?
I know some people use the digital, but I know as an educator, I'll say this, that when you handwrite things, it's like head to the paper. It for some reason, it just stays kind of more with you. And I can, to this day, still pretty much visually in my head, remember what's in my planner. When I see something and I don't happen to have it with me, and I'm like, what am I doing on that day? Can I schedule my workout or whatever? And I kind of visually know my week coming up in a way. Might maybe very specifically, but pretty much. So it's kind of fun. So I know you have a discount code for our listeners of $10 off, and that's HP10 and the word off, all one word.
In all caps.
In all caps, right? So that will be in the show notes as well, folks. So you can make sure you get that. So is there anything else you'd like to add here as we wrap up? I know you are on Instagram, and they can find you on Facebook, right, under the Parent Toolbox.
Yep, absolutely. And they can always send me questions on there, or when they go to my website, they can always schedule a free coaching session as well. But my last reminder for parents, especially because with people who have the planner right now, they're like, I've had it, but how do I start? Like, how do I actually get this to, be something that we do? And I say, you just have to start and you have to adapt. And maybe the first meeting is only 10 minutes and the next time it's 15. That's okay, because in parenting overall, it is all about empowerment, not perfection. Because at the end of the day, our kids don't even want perfect parents. They just want us as their parents.
That's right. True. And then just think about all these skills you're teaching them that you can take on. If you can transfer them over to the school, back to the house, now they'll be able to transfer them over to a job. Hopefully they start working even as teens, or if they're babysitting as young kids, That's awesome.
hopefully they can build up really strong, healthy toolboxes so that they don't have to upgrade as much when they're adults, like most of us parents do right now. So
That's funny. Well, thank you very much for your time, Angie, today. I know this has been probably very helpful for our listeners and our parents. And guys, don't think that you have to take every single strategy or tool or tip we gave today. Just take small bits and pieces of it and try it. Get the planner. And I know at first when I was using my planner, I didn't use all these sections. I tried to do it all in a lot. And now I'm down to what I know really works for me. So yeah, if you don't do the meal planning, then don't use it for the meal planning, but use it for a lot of the other things, right? Is that true?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a shopping list right next to it too. So when I go to the grocery store, I take a snapshot with my phone so that I don't have to carry the planner. But again, adapt it to whatever works for your family because everyone's going to have different goals, different needs, and different wants.
Cool. Well, thank you again. And everyone, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.
Thank you.